What's up guys, Meredith with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we are checking out the Beltec Street Performance OEM stock replacement front and rear shocks fitting all 1999 through 2006 two-wheel drive Silverado 1500s. Now if you have noticed any bounciness, looseness, or loss of control in your suspension, these shocks are going to be a great solution for you. Now these will be an affordable replacement for your shocks that will be built for the stock suspension height if you haven't added any height to your truck, and will add an edge onto your street performance tuned specifically for on-road driving. Now that's going to make it a great set for the everyday driver who's looking for a big improvement in their suspension, a longer lasting suspension without all the stiffness, and a very comfortable driving experience. Now, worn out shock can cause all types of nasty symptoms like additional sway, body roll, and bounciness that can feel quite unsafe and definitely uncomfortable. Now, these shocks will bring back that control while keeping the comfortable original factory style ride qualities with a focus on low shaft speed compression characteristics. Beltec also states that these will have progressive valving, which will offer a smoother ride with softer dampening at lower shaft speeds or lower shock compression speeds, and a stiffer ride when the piston increases in speed, being great for on-road driving while still being able to hold their own when put up to the test. They're also going to have a nitrogen charged design, which will allow for a longer lifespan, reducing any cavitation or aeration in the shock, which essentially leads to shock fade over time, which is something that you may be currently feeling with your stock set. Now these will have a steel-bodied construction with metal dust boots for a durable build and a silver powder coat on top to prevent any rusting on the shock body or the boot. Now the boots are protecting a hardened chrome 15mm piston rod, which is super durable on its own and would be able to resist any damage even without the additional protection. These will also have a 51mm wide body and a 35mm piston for good oil volume, heat dispersion, and overall great street performance. Now all of the bushings will have an OEM style rubber construction, making them a great replacement and a great refresh for the current ones on your Silverado. Now this kit is going to come in at roughly $325, being an affordable set compared to others in the category. Now there are a few things that are going to set this set apart from the rest in the category though, like the focus on street performance rather than off-road performance, and even just having a metal dust boot for more durability and protection and a more premium feel. Otherwise, these aren't over the top, keeping them down in price while giving you the performance that you may be lacking for your Silverado, making them an overall fantastic choice for your build. Install will be a 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. I would recommend having some mechanical experience when doing this job, and it should take about 4 hours to get the job done, about an hour per corner with the right tools and setup. Now speaking of the install, one of our customers here has installed these on their Silverado and is going to walk you through the install step by step, whether you're doing this at home or you're just interested in the process. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
Tools I'm going to be using is a 1/2 inch ratchet, a 3/4 inch, and a 14mm socket for the front top, and a 13mm for the bottom in the front. The rears are going to be a 21-inch socket, and this 19-inch socket is for my lug nuts. I have a set of chocks for my rear wheels when I jack up my truck, and I have a jack. Today we're going to be removing the stock shocks on my 2005 Silverado and installing these Beltec Street Performance shocks. Now we're going to pop our hood so that we're able to get to the front. So starting at the bottom on the passenger side, you have 2 bolts right here that connect the bottom of the spring or the bottom of the shock. And I'm going to take these off first. At the top of the shock, we have a 14-inch nut here. I'm just going to take that off. should just fall right through. Be able to pull it out. So the first thing we're gonna do here is take off these two nuts. And we're gonna take off this top plate and this top bushing. Set that aside for now. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up here and under. We're gonna push it up all the way to the top. So for those Silverados that have the actual spring with the shock inside of it, you'll need to have the jack stands under there and take the jack and jack it up from the bolt under the A-arm so the shock can come up enough, because the bushings are a lot thicker on these Beltecs. So you push up the shock to the same way the stock one came out, to this hole right here, and then you just put the old bolts back in. You just want to tighten these up. As much as you can. These bolts are a lot bigger than the stock ones that come on the stock shocks. These are 17 millimeter. So first we're gonna put the bushing this way down first. And then we're gonna put the plate over it. And then we'll put the first nut on. To hand tight. And then we're gonna tighten this nut down as much as you can in order to get the second one on. Then we'll put the second one on here. Go there. Tighten this one down. And work our way. Tightening it. The passenger side, the driver's side are also a 13 millimeter socket. These stock ones, the bushings are rotting and really time for replacement. Just like the other side, there's a 14 millimeter as well. Sometimes the other shocks have to be held at this little bolt right here, because this will keep spinning. But in my case, mine is just coming loose. And this one will come at the bottom. So, just like that. So just like the other side, you're also going to charge this one 3 to 5 times just by pushing it down and letting it come back up. So you took the top 2 nuts off and the bushing and the plate. Now we're just going to push it under this hole, just like the last one came out of. Make sure it goes to the top here. Ready?
Yeah.
And so now, just gonna line these up here. Just where they came out of. Tighten them up. Just hand tight. And then, so in order to get this shock up enough, we're just going to jack it up in this nut right here. So we're just gonna keep jacking it up until the shock is all the way up. tightens up enough. And I'm just gonna put the bushing and the plate on top back on. Put the new bolt on that it sends you. And we're gonna tighten it up. 17 millimeter. Just gonna tighten the first nut up. We're gonna put the second one on. Same thing. Tighten it up as much as you can. Now that the top is fully bolted down, you'll have more room to bolt these down. Okay. And the other side. So now I back my truck up so I can get started on the rear. I'm gonna put my emergency brake down. Make sure to charge my front wheels. So this is a 21-inch socket I'm gonna use on the outside, and on the inside I'm gonna use these channel locks to hold it in place on this side. Get this nut off. Take off the nut here. Take off the channel locks. We're gonna take this hammer and just get this bolt out. This side. Just wiggle it out. And this side should come loose, and you can just pull it out. Yeah, she might hit it. There we go. See how extended? That's why I did the bottom first, because I don't want the top to extend. And so now we're taking off the top nut and bolt. It's the same size socket, 21 millimeter on both sides, but I'm using channel locks on the nut here. I'm using the ratchet on the inside. So now we're just gonna let that channel lock catch. Instead of using the channel locks in the top, I just decided to use a 13/16 size wrench. I can take off the wrench. You can just unbolt this. And boom, we got the nut. And then this top bolt should just come out. Yep. You can just pull it out. Slide this up there. And then we're gonna put the bolt through. And just put the nut back onto the side. Get to it. started. Hand tight. Just enough for it to move still. And then now, we did that. We'll just get this bolt ready. Cut the tape off here. Get it lined up here. Push it through. Done. Pull that out. Put this nut back on. You're just going to tighten everything back up. Do the same thing at the top. And now that we have it all tight, jar side is on.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the Beltec Street Performance OEM stock replacement front and rear shocks for stock height, fitting all 1999 through 2006 two-wheel drive Silverado 1500s. And you can find these right here at AmericanTrucks.com.